growing up, my dad and I had a love for BYU football. I think I attended my first game when I was 4 months old, and my mom said I was bundled up. I had the little earphones, but it was the first game I ever attended, and that kicked off a lifelong love of BYU football, and especially doing this with my dad. And we lived in Utah, where BYU was at, for a number of years, and then moved to Alaska. He moved back to Utah. I stayed in Alaska, and as he started attending the football games again, we came up with this really fun tradition. And so he would call me on the phone before every game and right at kickoff, and he would stay on the phone through that first series, whether BYU would score or if they were on defense, they took the ball away. But he would stay on the phone with me, and we would have that moment. And then as the game progressed, every time BYU would score a touchdown, he would call me to celebrate that with me. And that was really fun because up in Alaska, I'm watching the game with a few of my friends, and the game is a little delayed from the live that's happening at the football stadium. And so when my phone would ring, everyone would be like, yeah, we're going to score. Here comes the call from your dad. And it was just this really special connection that we shared. And in 2008, I got the most wonderful gift from my wife. She said, you need some time with your dad. I'm just feeling like you should go down to a football game. I've bought you a ticket, and I've bought you tickets to the game. And in football with BYU, Utah, they're the big rivals. And so it was for the BYU-Utah game. It was at the Utah Stadium, so it was going to be this huge event. I called my dad, and he was super excited. I flew down, we hung out for a little bit, we went to the game, we got to sit around a lot of the BYU players and families, so it was fun having some friends in enemy territory, and it was just an amazing time with my dad. It would have been better if BYU would have won, but that night the quarterback had 6 turnovers, he threw 5 interceptions, he fumbled the ball. BYU did not win. But it was this amazing experience with my dad, and it was a memory that we have together. And what's interesting about this, and the reason I'm sharing this story, is sometimes in life, you get impressions that you should do something. You get a feeling that maybe you should reach out to someone, or you should spend time with someone. And this was the case for my wife. She felt like, you need this time with your dad. You guys need to connect. Football is where you guys connect the best. And so she made that trip happen. Little did I know that a year later, my dad would pass away from a heart attack. And that was the last moment that he and I would share together. And so now that experience is something that I cherish. I cherish that time together. But what I really appreciate the most is my wife feeling like, hey, you need time with your dad. I'm going to make it possible for you to go and visit with him and have that time. And I think to myself, isn't that what life is really about? Time with the people that we love, cherished memories. So if you ever get that feeling like, I should call this person, or I need to visit, or I need to reach out, that's life. That's God reaching out to you and saying, hey, you need this. This person needs that. I'm giving you a little nudge so that you can have a special moment. And I'm so grateful for my wife for that, because to this day, the thing that I think about the most with my dad is that last football game and the fun that we had just being together.